Missing your family while living in Poland? What if I told you that bringing them here legally might be easier than getting a decent pierogi recipe from your Polish neighbor? Stick around, because I'm about to reveal the exact step-by-step process that thousands of expats use to reunite with their loved ones in Poland. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll know more about Polish family reunification than most immigration lawyers charge hundreds of euros to explain. Let's be honest for a second. Living abroad without your family feels like trying to enjoy a feast while sitting at an empty table. You've got the success, maybe the career, the new life in beautiful Poland, but something's missing. That something is your people, your tribe, your family who probably still think you moved to some mysterious Eastern European country where everyone wears fur hats and drinks vodka for breakfast. But here's the thing nobody talks about. Poland actually wants families to be together. Shocking, right? This isn't some bureaucratic nightmare designed to keep families apart. The Polish government has created a legitimate pathway called the Family Reunification Visa, and it's way more accessible than you might think. Now, before we dive deep into this, let me ask you something. How many of you have been told that bringing family to Europe is impossible? How many have been scared away by horror stories about endless paperwork and rejections? Well, those people clearly haven't done their homework because what I'm about to share with you works, it's legal, and it's been helping families reunite for years. First things first, who actually qualifies for this magical family reunification process? If you're a Polish citizen, EU citizen, or have a permanent residence in Poland, you can sponsor your spouse, unmarried children under 18, and in some cases, your parents or grandparents. And here's where it gets interesting. If you have a temporary residence permit but you've been living in Poland legally for at least 2 years, you might also qualify. Poland basically said, hey, if you're committed to being here, we want your family here too. But wait, there's a catch. Because there's always a catch, right? You need to prove you can financially support your family members. And no, this doesn't mean you need to be swimming in złota like Scrooge McDuck. The requirement is actually quite reasonable. You need to show a stable monthly income that covers basic living expenses for everyone you're bringing over. Think of it as Poland asking, can you afford to feed these people? Because nobody wants hangry relatives wandering around Krakow. The income threshold varies depending on how many family members you're sponsoring, but generally you're looking at around 2,000 zloty per person per month. So if you're bringing your spouse and one child, you'd need to demonstrate an income of about 6,000 zloty monthly. That's roughly 1,500 euros, which in today's Polish job market is absolutely achievable for most professionals. Now here's where most people mess up completely. They think gathering documents is like collecting Pokemon cards. Just grab whatever you can find and hope for the best. Wrong approach entirely. The Polish authorities want specific documents and they want them done right the first time. You'll need a completed application form, which sounds simple, but trust me, Polish bureaucracy has turned form filling into an art form. Every field matters. Every signature needs to be in the right place. And yes, they will notice if you used blue ink instead of black. You'll also need proof of your legal status in Poland, financial documentation showing your income stability, proof of accommodation that can house your family members, and here's the kicker, health insurance that covers everyone you're bringing over. But here's the insider secret that immigration consultants charge hundreds for. The accommodation proof doesn't mean you need to own a mansion in Wrocław. You can rent a place, you can even stay with friends temporarily as long as you have a written agreement and the space meets basic habitability standards. Poland isn't expecting luxury, they just want to ensure everyone has a roof over their heads and isn't sleeping in Warsaw Central Station. The health insurance requirement trips up a lot of people because they assume it means expensive private coverage. In reality, if you're working in Poland, your family members can often be covered under the national health system once they arrive. You just need to prove they'll have access to healthcare, not that you're personally funding a private medical empire. Document preparation is where patience becomes your best friend. Everything needs to be translated into Polish by a sworn translator. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Birth certificates, marriage certificates, educational diplomas, medical records, even that parking ticket from your home country if it somehow becomes relevant. The translation costs can add up, but here's a pro tip. Many translators offer package deals for family sets of documents. Then comes the apostille process, which sounds fancy but is basically just official certification that your documents are legitimate. If your home country is part of the Hague Convention, you're in luck. If not, you'll need to go through the embassy route, which takes longer but isn't impossible. The actual application submission is refreshingly straightforward. You can apply online through the government portal or visit your local voivodeship office in person. pro tip here. If you go in person, bring snacks and download some Netflix content because Polish government offices move at their own special pace. It's not slow, it's just very, very thorough. Processing times typically range from 3 to 6 months, depending on your specific situation and how complete your application is. This isn't a race, it's more like a marathon where thoroughness beats speed every single time. Use this waiting period wisely. Start looking for larger accommodation if needed. Research schools if you're bringing children. Maybe even start learning some basic Polish phrases to help your family integrate faster. Here's something beautiful about the Polish approach to family reunification. Once approved, your family members receive residence permits that align with yours. If you have permanent residence, they get long-term residence permits. If you're on a temporary permit, they get permits with similar validity periods. Poland essentially says if you belong here, your family belongs here too. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Integration. Bringing your family to Poland isn't just about getting the visas approved, it's about helping them build a life in a new country with a different language, culture, and way of doing things. The good news is Poland has been welcoming immigrants for centuries, and Polish people are generally incredibly helpful once you make an effort to integrate. Your family members won't be required to speak Polish immediately, but encouraging some basic language learning makes everything easier. From ordering coffee to dealing with bureaucracy, even elementary Polish goes a long way. Plus, Polish people genuinely appreciate when foreigners attempt their admittedly challenging language. One common mistake people make is not preparing their family members for their cultural differences. Poland is wonderful, but it's different. Things like shop hours, bureaucratic procedures, social customs, even the way people interact in public can be surprising for newcomers. A little preparation goes a long way in making the transition smoother. And here's your final insider tip that most people never consider. Start building connections within the local community before your family arrives. Join expat groups, connect with Polish neighbors, find community organizations. Having a support network ready makes the integration process infinitely easier for everyone involved. The Family Reunification Visa isn't just a legal process, it's your ticket to building a complete life in Poland with the people who matter most to you. Yes, there's paperwork involved. Yes, you need to meet certain requirements. But thousands of families successfully navigate this process every year, and there's absolutely no reason you can't be one of them. So stop making excuses, stop putting it off, and stop believing people who tell you it's impossible. Poland wants families to be together. The process is clearly defined, and your family deserves to be part of your Polish adventure. Start gathering those documents, check your financial situation, and take the first step toward bringing your loved ones home. If this video helped clarify the family reunification process for you, make sure to subscribe for more practical immigration advice and drop a comment below about your own family reunification journey. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to take that first step toward reuniting with their family in beautiful Poland.